Welcome everyone! In today's video, join us as we follow a young man on his journey to build a wooden cabin nestled deep in nature. Let's see how he brings this peaceful retreat to life, step by step. To begin with, he needs to lay a solid foundation to ensure the cabin's stability and durability. This involves carefully leveling the ground and pouring a sturdy base that can withstand the elements. Once the foundation is set, he moves on to preparing the wooden beams, measuring, cutting, and arranging them precisely to form a strong framework for the cabin floor. On top of the wooden frame, he carefully places sturdy wooden planks, fitting them together to create a solid surface. Alongside these, he adds layers of insulation panels to help protect the interior from heat and cold. With both the planks and insulation in place, the cabin floor is now complete, strong, well insulated, and ready for the next stage of construction. With the floor finished, he begins constructing the wall frames for the cabin. Each frame is carefully assembled and securely anchored to ensure the structure's stability. Openings are precisely measured and left in place for the windows and the main door, shaping the layout of the house. This stage marks a major step forward as the outline of the cabin starts to take form. Next, he connects wooden beams across the tops of the wall frames to form the base structure for the roof. A central ridge beam is carefully positioned and secured in place, serving as the backbone of the roof. From this ridge, he adds angled rafters stretching down to both sides of the walls, locking them firmly into position. These diagonal beams complete the roof frame, giving the cabin its distinctive triangular shape and preparing it for roofing materials to be added later. He then adds large wooden panels onto the roof, carefully placing them side by side to cover the entire frame. Each panel is secured tightly, forming a solid outer shell that shields the interior from the elements. To further protect the cabin from the elements, he carefully spreads a waterproof membrane over the entire surface of the roof. This layer plays a crucial role in preventing rainwater from seeping through the wooden panels beneath. This extra step not only safeguards the interior of the cabin, but also helps extend the longevity of the roof, making it more durable in the face of changing weather conditions. With the waterproof layer securely in place, he moves on to the final stage of the roof, adding metal sheets as the topmost covering. He then begins enclosing the cabin by attaching wooden cladding panels to the walls, carefully nailing each one into place to completely cover the wall frames. These panels not only give the structure a natural, rustic appearance, but also help strengthen and insulate the walls. Once the entire frame is hidden beneath the wooden siding, he wraps the exterior with a layer of waterproof sheeting. In front of the entrance, he builds a small overhanging roof to serve as a protective awning, carefully supported by wooden beams. This extension not only shields the doorway from rain and harsh sunlight, but also adds a welcoming touch to the cabin's facade. At the designated spots, he carefully cuts out openings in the walls for the windows, making sure each one is perfectly sized and aligned. Once the openings are ready, he installs the window frames and fits in the window shutters, securing them firmly in place. These new additions allow natural light to flow, into the cabin while also offering ventilation and a clear view of the surrounding nature. With the windows installed, the cabin feels brighter, more open, and closer to completion. The main door is also securely installed, fitted tightly into its frame to ensure both stability and smooth operation. Built from solid wood, the door adds a sense of security and warmth to the cabin. Once in place, it not only completes the entryway, but also marks a major milestone in the cabin's construction. Along the lower edges of the exterior walls, he installs black metal sheets to create a clean and protective border around the base of the cabin. These panels not only add a sharp visual contrast to the wooden siding, but also serve a practical purpose, shielding the lower walls from moisture, dirt, and damage over time. In front of the main door, he also builds a small wooden porch step. Carefully crafted and securely attached, this entry platform not only makes it easier to step in and out of the cabin, but also adds a welcoming touch to the front entrance. He frames each of the cabin's windows with wooden trim, carefully measuring and cutting the pieces to fit perfectly around the openings. These wooden borders not only highlight the windows and give them a clean, finished look, but also help seal the edges and protect against draft or moisture. He begins by painting the wooden planks a warm shade of orange, giving them a vibrant, lively appearance that contrasts beautifully with the natural surroundings. Once the paint is dry, he installs the planks onto the cabin walls, starting from the bottom and working his way up. Each new board slightly overlaps the one below it, creating a layered effect that not only adds visual texture, but also helps shed rainwater more effectively. For the back wall of the cabin, he chooses to use large wooden panels instead of individual planks. Once secure, he paints the entire surface in the same warm orange tone used on the rest of the cabin, creating a unified and vibrant look. The bold color brings out the natural texture of the wood and gives the back of the cabin a clean, polished finish that complements the overall design. Inside the cabin, he constructs a small loft above the main living area. Using sturdy wooden beams for support, he carefully builds the raised platform to create additional space for storage or sleeping. This clever use of vertical space not only makes the most of the compact interior, but also adds a cozy, functional layer to the cabin's design. He begins by selecting strong, straight wooden logs and cutting them down to the appropriate lengths needed for the loft railing. With each piece, he patiently removes the outer bark, using a carving tool to smooth the surface and reveal the natural grain of the wood. This process not only cleans the logs, but also gives them a polished, handcrafted appearance. After shaping the logs into vertical posts, he positions and secures them firmly along the edge of the loft to serve as support pillars. Once the posts are in place, he attaches horizontal wooden beams across the top to form a sturdy and reliable railing. He proceeds to install the electrical wiring by running concealed cables through the walls of the cabin. Carefully planning the layout, he routes the wires to ensure they remain hidden behind the wooden panels, preserving the clean and rustic appearance of the interior. To complete the upper level, he carefully builds a wooden staircase leading up to the loft. Using solid wooden beams for the stringers and thick planks for the treads, he assembles the staircase piece by piece, securing every joint tightly to ensure strength and durability. It not only provides safe and easy access to the loft, but also becomes an attractive feature within the cabin. The natural wood texture of the steps blends perfectly with the surrounding interior, enhancing the cozy and handcrafted feel of the space. Once the stairs are installed, the loft transforms from a raised floor into a truly functional part of the home, accessible, welcoming, and filled with rustic charm. Inside the roof, he installs insulation panels that help regulate the cabin's temperature. These panels are carefully fitted between the roof beams, creating a thermal barrier that prevents heat from escaping during cold nights and keeps the interior cooler during hot days. This layer of protection plays a crucial role in making the space livable throughout the changing seasons. To enclose the underside of the roof, he installs wooden planks closely side by side, making sure there are no gaps between them. Each plank is precisely cut and carefully fitted to create a smooth, continuous surface that completely seals off the ceiling above. This not only hides the insulation layer and roof structure, but also adds a warm, finished look to the cabin's interior. The tightly joined wooden panels enhance the cozy atmosphere of the space while providing additional support and protection. He gathers small branches and carefully cuts them down to the desired length. Using a knife, he scrapes off the outer bark to reveal the smooth wood beneath, giving each piece a clean and natural look. Once ready, he attached these slender branches to the loft balcony railing, evenly spaced to create a rustic and decorative fence. This handmade accent adds charm and personality to the space. He also installs insulation panels along the interior walls of the cabin. Each panel is carefully measured, cut, and fitted into place to ensure a snug and even layer across the entire surface. This added insulation helps maintain a stable indoor temperature by keeping out the cold during winter and reducing heat during the summer. Beyond improving energy efficiency, it also contributes to soundproofing, making the cabin quieter and more comfortable to live in. With the insulation in place, the walls are better prepared for the final finishing touches. Just like he did with the ceiling, he finishes the interior walls by covering them with wooden planks. Each plank is carefully cut, aligned, and fitted tightly together to create a smooth, continuous wooden surface. This cladding not only hides the insulation beneath, but also gives the walls a warm, natural appearance that matches the ceiling perfectly. The consistent use of wood throughout the cabin adds to its cozy, handcrafted feel and brings a sense of harmony to the entire interior space. To enhance and protect the wooden surfaces, he applies a clear gloss finish over all the exposed wood. Using a brush, he carefully coats each plank, allowing the natural grain and texture to shine through while giving the surface a smooth, polished look. The glossy finish not only adds warmth and depth to the appearance of the wood, but also provides a layer of protection against moisture, dust, and daily wear. He also seals off the triangular sections of the roof at both ends of the cabin. To do this, he installs vertical wooden planks, carefully placing them side by side to fully cover the open spaces beneath the roof's peak. This step not only completes the enclosure of the structure, but also adds a clean, finished look to the upper part of the cabin, blending seamlessly with the rest of the wooden interior. He saws additional wooden planks and carefully prepares them to frame the interior doors of the cabin. Each piece is measured and trimmed to fit perfectly around the door edges, then securely fastened in place to create clean, defined borders. These wooden trims not only give the doors a polished and more refined appearance, but also blend seamlessly with the rustic charm of the cabin's overall design. It's a subtle yet thoughtful detail that adds depth and craftsmanship to the interior, enhancing the warm, handcrafted atmosphere of the space. Such finishing touches show the care and precision behind every element of the build. The interior floor is also carefully covered with wooden planks, each one precisely measured and tightly fitted together to ensure a smooth, seamless surface. The joints are snug, with no gaps left exposed, creating a solid and well-sealed floor. This careful craftsmanship not only enhances the overall appearance of the cabin, but also adds warmth, durability, and a comfortable surface underfoot. Inside the cabin, he builds custom shelves and built-in cabinets to enhance the functionality of the space. Using sturdy wooden planks, he carefully constructs storage units that fit seamlessly along the walls, making the most of the compact interior. Each shelf and cabinet is thoughtfully designed to provide practical storage while maintaining the rustic aesthetic of the cabin. These additions not only help keep the space organized, but also add to the handcrafted charm and livability of the home. He installs light switches and other essential electrical components throughout the cabin, positioning them in convenient, easy-to-reach spots. To power the home sustainably, he sets up a solar energy system, allowing the cabin to run entirely on clean, renewable energy. He finishes the interior flooring by applying a clear gloss finish over the wooden surface. Using a brush or roller, he carefully coats the entire floor, allowing the natural grain and texture of the wood to shine through while giving it a smooth, reflective sheen. Inside the cabin, he carefully adds trim to the joints where the walls meet along corners, edges, and where the walls connect with the ceiling and floor. These wooden borders are precisely cut and fitted to cover any visible seams, giving the interior a clean, finished appearance. He also applies a rich dark brown stain to the main door and the front step, giving them a bold and elegant finish. The deep color highlights the natural wood grain, while adding a sense of warmth and strength to the cabin's entrance. This final touch not only protects the wood from weathering, but also enhances the overall appearance of the cabin's exterior. And with that final touch, the cabin is now complete, every detail carefully crafted by hand, from the solid wooden structure to the warm, inviting interior. Thank you all for joining him on this journey. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss the upcoming episodes. Goodbye for now, and see you in the next one.